Oh, the propaganda machine is out in full force this morning. For this particular case, the propaganda is not coming from the usual suspects in the mainstream media. Instead, it's coming from the league, who I thought had learned their lesson. I was told throughout the regular season that I was too hard on the NBA. For the last 2 months, I had been praising the NBA for leaving the politics off the court. But you just knew it couldn't last for long. Woke dumbasses, they have a tendency to disappoint you. You never want to be in a relationship with a woke dumbass, ever. If you're dating a woman who identifies as woke, she's going to try to be the man in the relationship. Bend over, Jerry, take my woke cucumber. If you're dating a man who identifies as woke, he's going to try to be the woman. Hell, if you're lucky, he will even go the extra mile and fully transition into a woman. At that point, you have yourself a legitimate lesbian love affair. But either way, it always ends in disappointment. We're going to get into ratings for Game 2 of the NBA Finals in just a second, and I will once again give you the reason that the ratings are tanking. I'm also going to show you the propaganda the NBA is putting out to try and cover for their shit ratings. But first, I need to get a few pieces of business out of the way. Actually, you know what? I'll handle the channel business later on this afternoon. I want to share one thing with you, though, and then we'll get into the NBA. A couple of weeks ago, I told you guys what was happening to a group of young cheerleaders in the San Francisco Bay Area. They're being accused of fake racism. They posted a picture to Instagram holding up a mannequin head. Social justice warriors in the area claimed that it was racist because it was a group of young white teenagers holding up what they called a black mannequin head. The thing is, it was actually brown. Some would even say it resembled a white person more than a black person. Doesn't fucking matter what color the damn mannequin head was, the entire situation was ridiculous. The school principal, the school superintendent, the people who were supposed to protect the children, they are the ones accusing them of fake racism. These young girls, they are being attacked on social media. No one is defending them. No one in the national media is covering this story. Since I posted the video 2 weeks ago, I have been in contact with the parents of these young girls. They have had to go out and hire lawyers to defend their kids against a corrupt school system who refuses to do the right thing. They're fighting a battle against mythical racism. It's garbage. The superintendent, John Malloy, should be fired over this. Matter of fact, I hope they sue him personally and make him pay their legal fees. But for now, the families are being forced to defend their children in court unnecessarily. About 10 days ago, they started a GoFundMe to raise money for their legal fees. But GoFundMe, they're a woke piece of shit too. Once they found out these girls were accused of mythical racism, they deleted the fundraiser. So the parents, they started another fundraiser. The link is actually in the description below. They're about $2,600 away from their goal. And we have a lot of fun here on the channel making fun of woke dumbasses, but here is your opportunity to contribute in a small way to fight these evil, twisted shit fucks. Help these parents out. Help the kids out. Even if you can only donate $1, at least it will show these young girls that they're being supported. All right, let's get to the NBA Finals. Ratings for Game 1 were a disaster. 11.9 million watched Game 1. Now that number includes out-of-home viewership, which is a new metric the NBA began using a couple of years ago to inflate their shitty ratings. Including out-of-home viewership is complete bullshit. If there are 200 people at Hooters and the NBA Finals is on every television in the restaurant, they count all 200 towards their ratings, when in reality, most of the men in the restaurant came to look at Hooters. They didn't come to watch Steve Kerr virtue signal by wearing a useless mask. Steve Kerr, he needs to take off the mask and put on a fucking muzzle instead. When you're uninformed on an issue, it's best to just shut the hell up. Steve Kerr knows nothing about guns. The only thing he knows about guns is the people paid to protect them have them. Going into Game 2, Steve Kerr and the NBA, they had a brilliant strategy to increase television ratings. Another lecture on the need for gun control. Oh, wash me in your woke knowledge, Professor Kerr. Please teach me everything I need to know. Oh, wise one, please end your lecture with the woke prayer. Our Father, which is not in heaven, George Floyd be thy name. Thy mural is stained. White privilege is thy pain. Fake racism is thy gain. Insert your woke cucumber so I feel it in my brain. After ratings for Game 1 were released, the NBA cranked up the propaganda machine. Headline at NBA.com: NBA Finals ratings up 37% for 2021. Clearly, the NBA is borrowing tactics from their sisters in woke in the WNBA. Adam Silver, he called up the commissioner of woke welfare, Kathy Engelbert. Kathy, our ratings are in the dump. I know you live in a dump every day and are familiar with the stench of dumpness. How can I spin these ratings to make them look good? Oh, Adam, what I like to do is compare our shit ratings to even shittier ratings from the past. That way, it looks like we are doing great, when in reality, no one gives a shit about us. Now that I have bestowed this wisdom upon you, grab me a spoon so I can properly toss your salad. Of course, ratings are up compared to 2021. While we're at it, why don't we compare them to 2020? It's like comparing a pile of elephant shit to horse shit. One pile's bigger than the other, but at the end of the day, you still don't want to step in it. Hell, if Adam Silver really wants to make the NBA look good, let's compare the ratings to ratings for the WNBA Finals. There are more people living under a bridge in San Francisco than watch the WNBA Finals. What the headline should have read: NBA Finals off to a disappointing start. But we can't expect that level of truth and honesty. Don't worry though, don't worry. The NBA had a brilliant strategy going into Game 2. I know what will draw in the casual fan. Let's have Steve Kerr stoke beta males across America by giving another emotional lecture on gun control. They got the lecture, they just didn't get the emotion this time. Going into Game 2 Sunday afternoon, this is how the NBA Twitter account decided to promote the NBA Finals. Roll the film.
There are proven laws that are waiting to be passed, whether it's background checks or what have you. There are things we can do that would not violate people's Second Amendment rights, but would save lives. And so the idea behind wearing the shirts for both teams is to make people aware that they can contribute to different gun safety, gun violence prevention groups. The biggest thing, I think, is to vote. What I understand is that a lot of races, congressional races that are out there are, despite the fact that the majority of people in this country want gun safety measures put in place, a lot of those races are decided by people who aren't so much for any kind of gun safety measures.
As you can see, the propaganda is real. Oh, how I just love a steaming pile of propaganda on a Tuesday morning. One skill these people have mastered is lying with a straight face. They're either proficient liars or they're the biggest dumbasses on the planet, and the latter is extremely possible. There is a course at Woke U titled Finding Your Inner Dumbass. Guess who teaches the course? Hey, it's me, Shay Shay. Straight men think I'm gay. Shannon Sharp, the valedictorian of stupid fucks. Steve Kerr once again claimed the majority of the country supports stricter gun control. Now, he didn't use the 90% number this time. After we blew up that narrative over the weekend, Steve Kerr received a call from Bomani Jones. Steve, someone has exposed the truth. We can't use 90% anymore. Just say, most people support gun control. I showed you these numbers the other day, taken from 3 of the wokest states in the country, and this actually came from the New York Times. It turns out gun control just ain't that popular. All I keep hearing about is safety. Greg Popovich preaching about safety. Coach K echoing the same talking points memo that Steve Kerr was given by Professor Bobo. You know what keeps people safe? You know what stops a gunman? Another person with a gun. Memorial Day weekend in West Virginia. Dennis Butler. He headed to a birthday party armed and dangerous. He was a career criminal. Now you have to remember, career criminals, felons, they are not allowed to own firearms. That's what the woke like to call gun control. He couldn't pass a background check to legally purchase a firearm. That's what the woke like to call strict gun laws. Yet somehow, Dennis Butler, career criminal, felon, managed to find a gun. Maybe he borrowed it from a member of Steve Kerr's security staff. I don't know. But anyway, he heads to this birthday party, armed with evil intentions. He didn't make it back home. Why? Because a female bystander saw what was happening and unloaded on his dumb ass. Background checks didn't prevent a mass shooting. Stricter gun laws didn't prevent it. Calling the woke busters didn't stop it. A legal gun owner stopped it. Now, how many of you have heard about this incident in West Virginia? It happened almost 2 weeks ago. Haven't seen it reported in the New York Times. Haven't heard Steve Kerr mention it in one of his many boring lectures at Woke U, otherwise known as an NBA Finals press conference. I wonder why. I wonder why Greg Popovich didn't bring this up. Strange. Historically, we typically see around a 5% increase in ratings from Game 1 to Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Going back almost 20 years, the audience always increases for Game 2. The only 2 times that this didn't happen was 2007 and 2020, when the King of Queefs, LeBron James, was involved. But other than that, every Game 2 since 2003 increased in ratings over Game 1. Thursday night, Game 1, 11.9 million. Sunday night, Game 2, 11.9 million. Flat. No growth. Once again, this is a disaster for the NBA. Now, they're going to compare it to last year, maybe even compare it to 2020. But this is a decrease of over 2 million viewers compared to 2019. When you compare it to Game 2 in 2018, it gets even uglier. Game 2 in 2018, 18.5 million people. Where did 6.5 million people go? In the span of 4 years, you've lost 6.5 million casual fans, and no one seems to be concerned about it? KC, it's those damn cord cutters. It's streaming services. Netflix is stealing our viewers. I didn't hear that excuse in April and May when ratings for the NBA playoffs were growing. You mean to tell me 6.5 million people cut the cord in the last 8 weeks? Steph Curry and the Warriors have been the most watched team in the NBA for 8 years. I don't think it's the players turning people away. Even Draymond Green, I don't think he's turning people away. It's Steve Kerr. Last I checked, his emotional rant from 2 weeks ago was viewed by over 10 million people on Twitter. Now, how many of those people watched and decided, this is bullshit, I'm not watching this asshole anymore? Judging by the numbers, I'd estimate, 2-3 million. The NBA cannot get out of its own way. You were doing things right. You were slowly recapturing your audience. Then you wait for the most important event of your season to completely ruin it. The entire roster in Boston and Golden State wore these hideous gun control t-shirts during shoot-around before Game 2. I guess it worked. Millions of people with guns grabbed their remote control and turned off the bullshit. But let me know what you think. NBA Finals ratings for Game 2. Flat. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to start watching the NBA again and turn it off because of Steve Kerr? Do you think the political propaganda is the reason ratings for the NBA Finals are shit? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.